Have you ever walked into your own home and felt that the place no longer embraced you? As if the walls that were once a refuge now only watched you in silence? As if the air under that roof were too heavy for your soul to breathe? It's not just moodiness, it's not fatigue, it's not depression. It is a sign, an ancient sign coming from a region your rational mind has not yet learned to read, but which your soul has recognized since before you were born. There is something happening at this very moment in the spiritual realm concerning you, concerning the address where you sleep, the ground you walk on every day, the roof under which you pray. And what I am about to reveal will explain why you have been feeling that this house, this neighborhood, this street simply no longer belong to you. Think about it. What if this restlessness that makes you look out the window and sigh for no reason wasn't weakness, but a calling? What if the Almighty were already preparing another place for you, an address marked by the Spirit itself, a territory that carries the exact frequency of your mission, while you still insist on rearranging furniture in a house that heaven has already vacated? You are not losing your love for your home, you are being disconnected from it. And this disconnection hurts because what is breaking is not the concrete of the walls, but the spiritual covenant that space had with your former version, the version of you that needed the suffering of that room to grow, the version that needed to hear the arguments in that hallway to learn, the version that needed to feel the scarcity in that kitchen to wake up. That version has died, and the place where it lived cannot contain what you are becoming. That is why your body complains when you arrive. That is why your dreams take you to places you have never seen. That is why you feel like crying for no reason in the middle of the living room. It is not the house that is wrong, the chosen one. It is that you are already too big for it. And as long as you don't see this, you will continue fighting against a force that is not an enemy, but an invitation. Heaven is calling you to turn a new leaf. That is why I prepared the powerful ebook for you, the Family Guardian's Guidebook. This ebook is not just reading, it is a map. A map that shows exactly which entities cling to old addresses, which spiritual seals have been etched into the walls of your life, and how the true chosen ones identify the exact moment they need to turn a new leaf to fulfill the mission they received even before they were born. This ebook was written for those who have awakened enough to understand that the house one lives in is not just brick and cement. It is an active, living spiritual field that breathes along with those who dwell there. And when this field no longer matches your frequency, everything in your life begins to stall, even if it looks normal on the outside. The link is pinned in the first comment, at the top of the comments. But I must warn you, this type of content is rarely available for long. What is on these pages challenges narratives that many have an interest in keeping intact, because teaching a child of the Almighty to recognize their true spiritual address breaks chains that many people profit from keeping tied to the chosen one. They have tried to silence this knowledge before, and they will try again. Download it now and comment below. I am chosen, and I will download the ebook. Do not wait for the right moment. The right moment is now, the chosen one, because you did not arrive at this video by accident. It was your next home that called you through these words. Now that you have decided to act, the next truth I will tell you will be the final blow against this invisible oppression that still binds you to the wrong address, because what I am going to reveal now is about something that is happening inside your house while you sleep, and almost no one has the courage to explain. Every house has a memory. Each wall absorbs the words spoken, the tears shed, the anger held, the pacts made in silence, the curses uttered in moments of fury by those who lived there before you, the broken vows, the empty promises, the desperate prayers of other families who walked on that same floor before you existed. And when you sleep, your soul partially disconnects from your body and wanders the corridors of the territory where you are lying. If that territory is charged with ancient seals, your soul returns tired, wounded, even after 8 hours in bed. This is the reason why you wake up broken. It is not the mattress. It is not your age. It is the house giving back to you, drop by drop, everything it silently keeps in the joints of the tiles. And for those chosen by the Almighty, this accumulation becomes unbearable, because the anointing draws to the light everything that was hidden. The chosen one enters a house, and the house begins to expose its own entrails. Furniture starts to break for no reason. Appliances stop working out of nowhere. Pipes leak in spots that never leaked before. Strange smells appear and vanish out of nowhere. Lights flicker. Doors slam on their own. Animals become restless, staring at empty corners. This is not a coincidence, the chosen one. It is matter responding to the spiritual frequency that now dwells there. You have become too tall for a roof that was built to contain you small, and your own field of light is cracking structures that were erected on dark foundations. There is a phenomenon that few dare to name. Houses have spiritual gates, and the gate of your current house is closing. Not because the Almighty has abandoned you, on the contrary. It is closing because a new door is opening elsewhere, and heaven does not allow a chosen one to have two active spiritual addresses at the same time. It is a law of the kingdom. When the Almighty marks a new territory for you, the previous one begins to lose energy. You pray in that room and it feels like the prayer hits the ceiling. You try to rest in that living room and the restlessness drives you out. You call your family for a moment together, and there is always some fight, some misunderstanding, some interference. It is not your family that is wrong. It is the soil you are walking on that no longer supports what you need to live. The Almighty is using discomfort as an instrument of removal. And it is exactly about this that the e-book, the Family Guardian's Guidebook, will open your eyes in a way that no sermon, no video, no common Bible study will ever explain to you. Because this e-book details the exact signs that your current house has become a territory of passage and no longer of dwelling. It reveals how to recognize the address that the Almighty has already stamped in the spirit for you, even if your eyes have not yet seen the place physically. It teaches the spiritual movements you need to make, so that heaven accelerates the delivery of the new house, the new neighborhood, the new city that is waiting for you to occupy as an inheritance. And more. It shows you exactly which entities, which forces, which influences are working behind the scenes to keep you anchored to the old address, making you believe that moving is madness, that everything is fine, that you just need to paint the wall, and everything will go back to how it was before. A lie, it won't go back, won't go. Because the Almighty does not restore captivities. The Almighty sets free. The link to the e-book is pinned at the top of the comments, the very first one. But listen to what I am going to tell you with the seriousness that this moment demands. This knowledge challenges very large interests, because a child of the Almighty who understands the spiritual geography of their own life becomes impossible to manipulate. They have tried to take this material down before. They have tried to hide it. And that is why it can disappear at any moment. Download it now, the chosen one, and mark below, I am chosen and I will download the e-book. Not for me, for yourself. This public commitment opens doors in the invisible because the kingdom of heaven moves when the chosen one declares out loud what they have decided to do. And now that you have taken your stand, I can give you the next layer of the revelation, the one that will make you understand why this vision of the new house has appeared with such force in your mind in recent times. Have you ever dreamed of a house you have never visited, but which felt familiar inside the dream? Have you ever passed in front of a place and felt your heart tighten in a way that made no sense, as if that address had a voice trying to call you by name? Have you ever seen a city in a movie, in a photo, in a video, and felt your stomach churn with an absurd certainty, saying in the depths of your soul, "That's it"? This is not imagination. This is what the ancients called a geographical calling. There are places in the world where the Almighty has kept pieces of your destiny, pieces that only activate when you step on that specific soil. You can pray 10 hours a day on the wrong ground and unlock nothing. And you can pray 15 minutes on the right ground and see heaven open over your family. Because the Almighty does not work only with time. He works with time and territory. Each chosen one receives a spiritual coordinate, a specific point on the map where the mission is fulfilled. Arthur received the Promised Land, Miles received the Promised Land, David received Highbury, Mary received Oak Creek, Joseph was taken to the Heartland. Each one had their address stamped by heaven. And do you really think it would be different for you? Do you really think that the Almighty who measured every star and named every hair on your head forgot to mark where you need to live to fulfill what you came here to do? He did not forget. It is marked. And you are feeling the pull of heaven, dragging you to this place, even if you don't know its name yet. The place I show you, the chosen one, is not just any house. It is a field of anointing. It is a territory that vibrates on the same frequency as your mission. When you step there, three things will happen almost immediately. First, the confusing dreams will stop, because the spiritual interference of the old house will no longer reach you. Second, doors that had been closed for years will open, because heaven was waiting for you to cross the right threshold to release what was dammed up. Third, people who needed to appear in your life to fulfill the covenant with your calling will start to emerge, because they only know how to find you at the correct address. It is as if the Almighty had registered your heavenly package to a specific zip code, and as long as you are not there, the package remains held. But there is more. There is something few know about the houses of the chosen. Every house marked by the Almighty has what we call a gate of glory. It is a permanent spiritual opening between heaven and that physical space. This is why there are houses where prayers are answered faster. There are rooms where peace falls in a supernatural way. There are thresholds that dark entities cannot cross, no matter how hard they try. These houses are not blessed by chance. They were delivered by design. And your next house, the chosen one, is already set apart with this gate active. You just need to leave where you are. But I know what is holding you back. I know you think, what about the money? What about the kids in school? What about work? What about the family that lives nearby? What about the furniture I haven't even finished paying for? All these questions are correct by the logic of the world, but useless by the logic of heaven. Because the Almighty who calls you to move is the same one who provides to carry out the move. The problem is not a lack of resources. The problem is a lack of obedience. When the chosen one obeys, the entire universe reorganizes itself to fulfill the word. When the chosen one resists, the entire universe closes, because heaven does not work by pushing anyone. He invites. And if you refuse the invitation goes to someone else. And you remain at an address that does not belong to you, living a life that is not yours, waiting for a blessing that is waiting for you at another zip code. That is why I insist, with all love and all urgency, the ebook, the Family Guardian's Guidebook, needs to be in your hands before the next moon, because it explains in detail the ritual of spiritual disconnection from the old house, teaches how you prepare your family for this transition without the enemy provoking division among you, and shows exactly how to recognize the house that the Almighty has set apart, even if it is not yet empty in the physical world. This ebook reveals the signs that the Almighty uses to confirm the right address, and the disguises that the enemy uses to offer you addresses that look similar but are spiritually wrong, because this is one of the oldest traps of the kingdom of darkness, offering the chosen one a house that seems to be the promised one, but is only a copy designed to keep you away from the true one. Without this map, the risk of you crossing the wrong threshold is very high, and once inside a house spiritually marked by the enemy, getting out takes years. The ebook protects you exactly from this. It teaches you to discern, to feel, to confirm, before signing any contract, before packing any box, before turning any key. The link is at the top of the comments, the first pinned one. This material challenges the narratives that want to keep you anchored to addresses of captivity. There have been attempts to silence this content. That is why it may disappear at any moment. Download it now, the chosen one, and comment in capital letters below. I am chosen and I will download the ebook. The heavens register this declaration. The heavens act upon it. You are not just writing on a video, you are signing a decree. And now that your decision is sealed, I can give you what is perhaps the densest part of this revelation, the one that will change forever the way you see the place where you live. There is a giant spiritual difference between an inhabited house and an occupied house. The inhabited house is where the Almighty placed you to fulfill a specific purpose at that time. It has a spiritual expiration date. The occupied house is where you stayed out of inertia, out of fear, out of attachment, after the spiritual deadline passed. And when this happens, the invisible begins to work against your stay. Not because the Almighty wants to punish you, but because He wants to push you to the next level. And the next level, in your case, the chosen one, requires new soil. It is like a plant that has grown too much for a pot. If you don't change the pot, it doesn't die all at once, but it begins to wither from within. The roots curl, suffocate, and the plant stops flourishing. You are stopping flourishing inside this house, the chosen one. Can you feel it? Can you feel? The dreams you had are dormant. The ideas that used to visit you have stopped coming. Creativity is blocked. Prayer is mechanical. Enthusiasm has become routine. This is not a phase. This is a pot that is too small for the root that has grown. And the new pot is already ready, the chosen one. The house I show you exists. It is not a metaphor. It is not symbolism. It is a physical structure, at a physical address, with physical keys, that is waiting for the exact moment you position yourself in the spirit to be delivered. But I need to tell you something that hurts. There are chosen ones who will read this, will feel truth in their chest, will cry, will promise themselves they will move, and will be in the exact same place 3 years from now. Do you know why? Because the old house, even though it is tight, still gives a false sense of security. And human beings prefer known pain to the discomfort of faith. But the chosen one cannot belong to this group. The chosen one was not set apart to repeat the patterns of those who were never called. The chosen one was marked to cross over. And crossing over hurts. Crossing over requires faith. Crossing over requires burning bridges that still seem firm. But when you arrive on the other side, the chosen one, you understand. You understand why you had to suffer that. You understand why some people had to leave your life. You understand why that job ended, why that friendship cooled, why that door closed. All of that was part of the engineering of heaven to free you from the old house. The Almighty does not take anything from the chosen one without having something greater to put in its place. And what is about to be put in your life now is so big that the old pot cannot hold it. That is why the pot is cracking. That is why the house is weighing on you. That is why the feeling that it no longer belongs to you is growing. It really doesn't belong to you. It has already been delivered. The next one has been reserved. You just need to obey the call to move. And pay close attention to what I'm going to say now, because this last part is the heart of this entire revelation. There are 3 final signs that confirm that heaven has already decreed your departure from your current house. The first sign is spiritual fatigue disproportionate to physical effort. You are not doing anything extra, and yet you arrive home exhausted, as if you had been carrying stones all day. This is the weight of territory. Your soul is paying spiritual rent in a place that no longer fits you. The second sign is repetitive arguments inside the house with the same person about the same topics, in cycles that seem programmed. This is environmental interference. When the spiritual gate of a house closes, the accumulated energies begin to manifest through relationships. It is not your family that has changed. It is the environment that is expelling what was dammed up and using people as conductors. The third sign, and perhaps the most subtle, is the feeling that time passes in a strange way in that house. The days drag on, but the weeks fly by. You cannot remember where the whole month went. The clocks seem out of sync. This is spiritual temporal distortion, and it happens when a chosen one remains at an expired address. The time of heaven over you is running, but the time of the house is stagnant, and this friction causes the mismatch. If you have marked at least 2 of these 3 signs, the chosen one, I tell you with all authority, the decree has already been issued. Your move is approved in the heavens. You just need to sign below on earth. And the e-book. The Family Guardian's Guidebook is the instrument that the Almighty is using to put in your hands the exact tools for this transition. This e-book teaches the complete ritual of spiritual closing of the old address, so that you do not take with you to the next house the burdens that were left behind. It teaches the specific prayer for identifying the new territory. It teaches how to involve your family in this move without the enemy causing division among you during the process, because this is the moment he attacks the most. The moment of transition, and it gives you the step-by-step guide on how to activate the gate of glory of the new house as soon as you cross the threshold, so that all the dammed-up blessings begin to flow from the first day. The link is pinned at the top of the comments. This content is what many do not want you to access, because a chosen one who knows the spiritual geography of their own life can no longer be manipulated, can no longer be trapped, can no longer be led astray. They have tried to take this material off the air. It may disappear at any moment. Download it now and comment, I am chosen and I will download the ebook. Do this even before you finish watching the video. This act itself already moves the invisible. This act itself already opens windows. You are not just downloading a file, you are officializing before heaven that you have accepted the call to move. And to close this revelation with the golden key it deserves, let me give you the truth that perhaps no one has ever told you in this way. The house that the Almighty shows you is not just a place for you to live. It is a headquarters. It is a base. It is a point of radiation. When the Chosen One occupies the right address, that address becomes a focus of light on the spiritual map of the region. Entire families around begin to be influenced. Neighbors feel peace when they pass by. Children on that street sleep better. Animals approach. Birds build nests in the backyard. Plants grow with a vitality out of the ordinary. This is not a coincidence. It is the presence of the Almighty manifesting geographically through you. You are not just going to move house. You are going to bless an entire piece of the world just by occupying the right point. That is why the enemy works so hard to keep you where you are, because he knows that the moment you cross the right threshold, an entire area of the spiritual territory passes into the hands of the kingdom of light. And he cannot allow this without a fight. That is why you will feel resistance. Last-minute financial difficulties will appear. Illness will appear in someone in the family. Fights, doubts, discouragement will appear. All of this is confirmation. When hell fights, it is because heaven has already decided. And when heaven decides over a chosen one, not all the powers of darkness together can reverse it. They can delay. They cannot cancel. That is why I ask you, the chosen one, do not delay yourself what the enemy could not even delay. Do not be the obstacle to your own transition. Get the ebook, the Family Guardians Guidebook now, still today, before this day ends. The link is pinned at the top of the comments, the very first one. This ebook is the map. It is the compass. It is the field manual for this crossing. It gives you what no pastor, no book, no content will give at this level of depth, because it was written specifically for chosen ones who are exactly in this moment of transition that you are living now. It is not a coincidence that you are watching this today. They have tried to silence this knowledge more than once. This ebook may go off the air at any moment without prior notice. Download it now, the chosen one, and declare below, with faith and out loud while you type, I am chosen and I will download the ebook. Your current house no longer belongs to you. The place that heaven shows you is where you will live. And this new story begins at the exact instant you decide to obey. Heaven is waiting. The new key already has your name engraved on it. You just need to cross over, and you will cross over the chosen one because you did not reach the end of this video by accident. You reached it because your next home called you. Answer it.